What's up, everybody? Tomorrow we get Season 4 of Black Ops 6 and Warzone. So, of course, the patch notes came out today, and as usual, we'll just be talking Warzone, but I'll link both the Warzone patch notes and the Black Ops 6 patch notes down below if you want to check out the multiplayer and the zombie patch notes. That'll be linked down below. And also linked down below will be my Twitch. I'll be live tomorrow evening, hopefully no later than like 6 p.m. Eastern, playing some Warzone. And my Twitch link down below if you want to come hang out live. If you want to, give me your builds for the new meta guns, the LC-10 and the FFAR that we'll talk about. Or tell me that I got the wrong meta guns. You want to come hang out? Just tell me I'm bad at the game. Feel free. That's linked down below. As well as all my other social media channels and my single player channel on YouTube. If any of that interests you or you want to support me anywhere else, I do appreciate it. And that is all linked down below as well. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the patch notes here. So where there's a new tower coming to Verdansk. We talked about that more in the intel drop a little bit. I'll link the intel drop video and the blog post down low as well. There's a big new tower in the middle of downtown. There's two cranes on the side of it. There's horizontal zips that go to other buildings. The high tier loot zones for Verdansk in season 3 are Superstore. I don't think they'll ever take Superstore out of rotation. It was in season 3. It started out being Superstore, military base, and hospital. Then they opened train station, so they took hospital out of that high tier or high value loot zone, and replaced it with train station. Now they took out both train station and military base and replaced it with Quarry and the new POI, the Overlook. So those will be your high tier loot zones. And it looks like they're going to be changing every mid-season and new season update. New modes: Clash. It's 52 versus 52 team deathmatch. It was in old Warzone 1 before. It's at just a specific POI in Verdansk. No circle collapse until first team to 500 points and wins the game. World Series of Warzone is back. Open qualifiers start on June 20th in game. The playlist update. So normally I don't really talk too much about the playlist update. I don't know what they're doing. I know they're trying to push ranked. So they have trios instead of just regular BR. If you want to play trios, you have to play ranked, which I think is dumb. But now they got rid of solos, and the only solos is in Battle Royale Casual, which they're still keeping with solos and quads. And then they don't remove quads because, oh my god, dude, if they removed quads and trios and just had solos and duos, the player count would go solo. So they're not dumb enough to do that. But just leave regular solos. I think that's a really bad decision. And then I wanted to rant about that. There's nothing else I really wanted to talk about on that. Let's see if they say anything about it. We're going to experimentally replace core Battle Royale solos with Battle Royale casual solos. Well, we understand this impact will have for players who prefer core Battle Royale solos. It is the compromise we're comfortable with given the larger engagement with other playlist options. I think that's dumb. Ranked play comes back with BR. In the mid-season, there'll be both BR and Resurgence, but since not everyone really plays ranked, I know my squad doesn't really like to play ranked, and that's fine. Obviously, I don't care that. I don't really care. That you can read that stuff later. That's what I was trying to get at. I'm doing horrible this video, but we battle on. Let's see. Gulag, you now start. Oh, here's something they wanted to say. So I wanted to cover. Moving forward, we've made the decision to test new gameplay features in limited time modes before bringing them into BR. So there'll be some stuff that we talk about that's like Clash only, but it's testing it to come to BR. Gulag, now you'll have a single armor plate in Gulag in pubs. I think you only have one in ranked, so I assume it'll still just be one in ranked, so it'll be the same across both. Verdansk, they're updating the ground loot with reducing the drop of LMGs, thank God. And it's not even that the LMGs are necessarily the worst guns. The builds for them are bad for what they are. Like having fangs with sniper scopes. Slightly increased the drop rate of SMGs in Battle Royale, updated underbarrel and stock attachments on legendary assault rifles to better match their intended playstyle, adjusted the possible optics available on assault rifles found in ground loot. So hopefully no more sniper scope, LMGs, and ARs. I know it only says ARs, but I'm hoping they fix it for LMGs as well. Resurgence and Plunder, lootable perks, Irradiated, Shrouded, Low Profile, Reactive Armor, Loot Master, and Ghost. Loot Master just helps you find more loot out of crates. Everything else I don't think is new. BR Battle Royale buy stations will be shuffled around like they typically are in new seasons, and they're adding 2 more, so they're up to 49 from 47. Clash, new search and destroy contract, so this is something that could come to BR. When you pick it up, you have a 3-minute timer to go to a marked buy station on the opposing side of the map. You plant a bomb. Anyone can plant a bomb on the squad. You don't have to pick it up like in multiplayer search. When you plant, the bomb site's revealed. Nearby enemy players are alerted. The bomb explodes after 30 seconds. I'm surprised it's only 30 seconds. I bet you this gets changed to a minute when this comes to BR, because 30 seconds is not very long in BR. Dealing area damage and disabling the buy station for 1 minute. Now that kind of sucks because you can't plant the bomb and then use that buy unless it means it disables it for others. In Flash, I don't think this is a big deal. In BR, they're going to have to only disable it for the other teams, I think. Enemies can prevent detonation by defusing the bomb with a 4-second interaction. Rewards are based on successful detonation or defusal. Only available in the new Clash limited time mode, which we know it's not. Supply run adjusted the fire sale reward from the supply run contract, so it's only consumed during the fire sale public event if a free item is purchased. So if you complete supply run, you get like a one-time use fire sale. But if you complete it during a fire sale, it's been taking away the benefit of the contract. So now during a fire sale public event, it will only count as your use from the contract if you get a free item. So it's a self-revive or getting a teammate back. Flash grenades, flash angles increased by 20%, so it means you have to turn even further away. Now, if you always have your back facing directly to it, you're never getting flashed. But flashes were buffed, and then concussions, or aka stun grenades, their duration was increased. The maximum duration was increased from 1.61 seconds to 2.3 seconds. So just about 0.7 of a second. And stun minimum duration was decreased from 147 to 115. So if you're barely stunned, you'll be stunned for less. But if you're fully stunned, you'll be stunned for way longer, which really frustrating. I hope we don't see a flash and stun meta, but when we get down to perks, you'll see why we might. Or like why they're doing what they're doing partially. Part of it's to get people to use a more diverse selection of equipment, yada yada. In Clash, there's this new field upgrade. The door barricades, which will eventually come to Warzone or BR, allows players to secure single or double doors with a visible lock preventing enemy access. Can only be removed by the squad who placed it or destroyed it using explosives, gunfire, or melee equipment. So if you place it, you can remove it. Otherwise, if you didn't place it, you have to destroy it with damage. Ideal for delaying enemy pushes and controlling entry points during close quarters combat. Also funny to lock a camping team in there. Like if gas is coming and you're just waiting for a camping team to come out, just lock them in. Ideal for delay, and if it's on the other side of the door, I guess you can wall bang. You just won't be able to explosively damage it, so you can't use like nades and C4 and stuff. Ideal for delaying enemy. Individual players can only deploy one barricade at a time. So in solos, you could only place one, but if you have quads, you could place 4. It will automatically self-destruct after 150 seconds, so that's 2.5 minutes. Only available in the new Clash limited time mode until it gets brought to BR. New in Clash also is the hand cannon. It's the super strong pistol, which in multiplayer is a one-shot kill. I don't know when it comes to BR or when it's in Clash what it's going to be, but it is coming to Clash and will eventually come to BR. So Veteran, slightly increased resistance to flash and stuns. They're trying to get more people to use more equipment and lead to people using more of a wide variety of perks. They've talked about you doing that before. They don't talk about that specifically here, but they've talked about they want people to have diverse loadout choices and they want to see diversity among loadouts. Mountaineer fall damage reduction increased to 35% from 33%. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Mountaineer is okay right now, but people don't use it for good reason. We'll see if that's any good. Right now, people are using Survivor and Scavenger in perk 1, which is what I think both of these perks are in, if I remember correctly. And I don't see that changing unless flashes and stuns are really overpowered. Bandolier is removed from all modes. Fine, I don't think that many people use it. Anyways, you do get the utility box, which is nice. Now there's no other way to get it at all, which is stupid. But that was it. Oh no, the bandolier was for the vest. You still can get you can still get the one with the utility box. Never mind. The vest thing, I don't care. I'm glad with less vest. I'm fine with only a plate vest. New weapons, LC-10 and FFAR return. If you remember from Cold War Warzone, I don't remember if the LC-10 was ever the meta, but it was like meta enough. I think at a short time that it was the meta. The FFAR was not only a sniper support meta, but people were running double AR because it was so good in the close range. I expect these to be the new meta: sniper support and close range SMG / aggressive sniper support. I hope the FFAR isn't so broken that people run double AR, especially if you like have to, because that's how it was at one point. You like had to either snipe or and use that as sniper support or run double AR. And without backpacks, I hate double AR. So I'm hoping that the LC10, or even if the close range meta doesn't change, I'm hoping the FFAR is not also the SMG meta. And I'm hoping the LC10 is. I really like the LC10, and I hope it feels anywhere close to the old one. It was really nice. And the SX Model 7 is coming as well. It's a lever action marksman rifle. It says high damage potential. I hate how they don't like give Warzone specific descriptions. Like, is it going to one shot? Probably not at any range. So it's probably not going to be Warzone. And I think that's an event reward. Then new attachments, the G grip foregrip. I don't think all of these are coming at the first half of season 4, if I remember from the intel drop. But it's a vertical foregrip with an integrated laser to help with firing stability, horizontal recoil control, and it tightens the spread when going from hipfire to ADS, which a lot of people are running the Strela. I think it's the Strelic laser that people are running for that. So that's going to combine the Strelic laser with an underbarrel. Probably going to be the new meta underbarrel, and definitely the meta in 5 attachment guns. And then in the intel drop, it said to be a blue visible laser. The Strider is getting a 3-round burst mod. That's the pistol. It just 3-round burst. The SVD is getting full auto mod to essentially try to make it like an AR or an auto marksman rifle instead of a sniper. And it says it will drastically improve recoil and handling, ramping up the speed of your damage output. It could be interesting. I doubt it'll be meta. And then the TR2, which is the FAL, it's getting a close quarters auto conversion, so essentially it's turning it to an SMG with a compact frame and fully automatic capabilities that rival rates of an SMG. I kind of hope that's meta just because it's different. So here we have weapon adjustments, and I'm going to say that the meta is probably not changing, at least long range. The AK-40, most guns on here, in fact, I think all ARs got bullet velocity improved. The Goblin didn't, but it's kind of a special case. Yeah, all the the Black Ops 6 ARs got bullet velocity improvements. The CHF barrel got buffed for a bunch of them. Nobody uses CHF barrel. The Marksman foregrip that nobody uses got buffed as well. The aims also got aim down sight, sprint to fire, and aim down sight move speed improvements. Maybe the aims finds its way back into the meta. I don't see it right now. I think it will still be the Krig, the Kilo, maybe not the AMAX, which we'll talk about in a second. Unless one of the LMGs, because the LMGs got more significant changes, becomes meta, I expect the long-range meta to stay the same. The AS Val only got a bullet velocity improvement. The AMAX is one of the ones that got a marksman rifle improvement, but nobody uses the marksman rifle foregrip, or not, yeah, just marksman foregrip. But they also got a slight increase to view kick strength and deviation, so it'll be more recoil-y, both, it sounds like visually and recoil pattern, and it says it's a slight recoil adjustment, but it's going to be enough that no one's going to use it when you could use the Krig, or use the Kilo and hit more shots reliably, maybe the Cypher. I expect that to bump the AMAX out, and that's really the only meta change I actually expect. The Cypher was another one that got the marksman foregrip, the heavy stock, and the combat stock buffed. The Goblin got the marksman foregrip, the heavy stock, and the combat stock buffed. The GPR was one of the ones that got the CHF barrel, which no one uses, and the marksman foregrip that no one uses buffed. The Kilo got a slight increase in view kick strength, so it's like more visual recoil, which is unfortunate. They should be removing that, not adding that. And the marksman foregrip also got buffed. The Krig C got bullet velocity improvement, of course, and then got the marksman foregrip, the heavy, and the combat stocks buffed. The Model L got the CHF and the marksman foregrip. I mean, it's just attachments that people don't use. And then this also says the Model L, which, you know, keep an eye out. Every blog post has at least one typo. That's the XM4, of course. CHF barrel, marksman foregrip, heavy stock, and combat stock all got buffed. So here's where we could see a meta change, because once again, I think the FFAR will be a sniper support role. When you read the description of it, it talks about like movement and close quarters, because that's what its role is. The C9 had all of its ranges buffed. And then the C9 10mm max damage range increase and heavy stock flinch reduced increase. So that didn't really get anything that's significant, other than the range is somewhat significant. The C9 and the Ladra are the meta now. So the C9's not falling out of its position unless everything does, because the LC10 takes over. You have the Jackal PDW, all of its ranges were extended. Lower torso multiplier increase, aim down sight speed improved, and the Marksman foregrip buff. Now, the Jackal's actually tricky. The Jackal has snuck its way back up the chart some, and it was like pretty decent in Season 3. Season 3 Reloaded. Now it'll be even better. I doubt it's going to take a top spot, though. The Compact 92 got its closest range buffed. And then its lower torso multiplier increased, sprint to fire speed improved, and aim down sight speed improved. Maybe this moves up a little bit. I doubt it with just lower torso. But the Compact's like been a top 3 or 4 SMG for like all of Black Ops 6 Warzone. KSB ranges were buffed. Marksman foregrip heavy stock, combat stock buffed. The Ladra got its medium damage range and its minimum damage range buffed, but that's not really significant to an SMG. Marksman foregrip heavy combat stock. All above. So I would expect the C9 will be the meta if it's not the LC10. And the Ladra will be like second or third. The PP919 heavy and combat stock buffs. The PPSH got all of its ranges buffed, as well as its sprint to fire and aim down sight speed, and the Marksman foregrip. The SAO got all of its ranges buffed. Marksman foregrip heavy stock, combat stock. The Tanto, however you say it, first range buffed, Marksman foregrip buffed. So what? Shotgun ASG got both the heavy and the combat stock buffed. The Maelstrom got 3 out of its 4 ranges buffed. Aim down sight and sprint to fire speeds buffed. Heavy and combat stocks buffed. LMGs, all Black Ops 6 LMGs now inflict 12% more flinch on enemies. So like I said, the LMGs did get some changes that could maybe make them meta, but I doubt it. The Fang had its medium damage range removed, so it's just maximum and minimum, but in the maximum range, it got damage nerfed a little bit, but lower torso multiplier also decreased. So another nerf, but reduced view kick speed, reduced view kick strength and deviation. The Fang's biggest downfall since it was introduced was its recoil, movement speed increase, sprint movement speed increase, aim down sight movement speed, and aim down sight firing movement speeds all increase. So you move faster with it, which with long range, it's not that big of a deal. Heavy and combat stocks and marksman foregrips all buffed. Then you had the GPMG, had both of its damages buffed and the medium damage range removed. Headshot multiplier decrease, so that's not going to be in the meta. Reduced view kick strength and deviation, movement, sprinting movement, aim down sight firing movement speeds all increased, and marksman foregrip buffed. The PU-21 got its closest damage range nerfed, but its medium damage range was removed, so that buffs its maximum damage range, which, by the way, these maximum damage range do go out pretty far. Lower torso multiplier decreased, so another nerf. Reduced view kick strength and deviation, movement speed, sprint movement speed, aim down sight movement speed, and aim down sight firing movement speed all increased. Heavy and combat stocks and marksman foregrips buffed. The XMG had its close range damage nerfed. Its medium damage range removed. Headshot multiplier decreased. Upper and lower torso multiplier decreased. So it's not going to be the XMG that's going to be meta. Reduced view kick strength, movement speed, sprint movement speed, aim down sight movement, aim down sight firing movement speeds all increased. Marksman foregrip buffed. The marksman rifles, the AEK burst fire cooldown was reduced and marksman foregrip buffed. DM10 marksman foregrip buffed. Which once again, why? SWAT 556 burst fire cooldown reduced and adjustments to recoil pattern within the burst. Nobody's using this burst. You're using this Growler, you're not using the SWAT 556. Marksman foregrip buffed. TR2 drop time improved. So it's just when you switch guns or on 80, I think it's switch guns. It just, the time it takes for the weapon to go off screen when switching to another will now match other marksman. So something not that useful. And marksman foregrip heavy and combat stocks buffed. And then Sarkov marksman foregrip heavy stock and combat stock buffed. I would kind of like to see the Sarkov at least be a viable meta option. AR mod 4 maximum damage range and minimum damage range buffed, and then the minimum damage buffed as well. This is a one-shot headshot and its maximum damage range. So it's not, it hasn't been. I don't know when that change happened, that it wasn't always one shot the whole length of the map, but no one's using it anyways. Reduced first shot recoil, bullet velocity improved, upward torso arm multiplier improved, leg multiplier improved. Still nobody's going to use it. UI adjustments. The death recap system has been expanded to provide clearer insights to include into the circumstances surrounding your elimination. Precision airstrike indicates if your position was revealed on the mini-map. Same thing with cluster. Bunker buster, which I still have never found a bunker buster, so maybe they're only in Resurgence. Coughing indicates if your position was revealed on the minimap due to coughing. I didn't know you were on the minimap for coughing. I thought it was all audio. Unless they changed that without saying anything. Tracker, ADS, auto ping, alertness detection. It just tells you if you were if you were spotted or your location was identified because of any of that. Adjustment specialist perk tracking. Challenges requiring perk activation will now also track progress when players acquire the specialist perk. UAV kill streak challenge, camo challenge, new armory challenge, and then bug fixes. And I don't think there's anything too important in the bug fixes. Nothing that was like a common issue. Yeah, I don't think there's any common issues on here. But yeah, that's it. That's the stuff that's coming. I'm hoping the LC10 and the FFAR are metas in the proper roles for them. I hope I'm wrong that the long range meta is still just going to be the Krig. But I think it's still just going to be the Krig. And of course, the HDR is still going to be the sniper. Of course, you can use other snipers. But it's a little unfortunate that that the meta is not going to change more. I don't think the player base is going to be happy if it's just the Krig and the HDR again. Even with the new SMG, new sniper support, unless they just feel so amazing. So that's a little disappointing. I'm excited to check out the new POI. A little disappointing that they are getting rid of solos and trying to put it only in casual. I think that's disappointing as well. So I'm always excited for new Warzone season. I like playing with the boys. I like when a new POI comes. I like the nostalgic weapons if they feel good. But to be honest, I'm not super excited about the season. Just not enough changes unless the new POI is just a lot of fun and the nostalgic weapons are a lot of fun. But I still look forward to every new season, like I said. So that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you like this type of content and want to see it first. And reminder, my Twitch is linked down below. I will be live tomorrow evening and like for the rest of the night playing the new season. And my other social medias and my single player channel are linked down below if you want to support me anywhere else or anything like that interests you. Typically my TikTok is just like a shorter form version of my YouTube channel if you like shorter content, although patch notes are still long, but I'm rambling. And like I said, I'll put both patch notes, the Warzone as well as the Black Ops 6 patch notes down below. The Intel drop from the other day or from last week, and as well as my Intel drop YouTube video if you just want to watch it in video form. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on Verdansk. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.